Welcome back here to the bar, guys. It is after hours. The bar may be closed, but for you, we always remain open. And today I want to talk to you all about a little bit of a touchier subject for Henry Ford, and that is his legacy of anti-Semitism. See, Henry Ford was a great man, and one of the hard things about history is that great men sometimes do horrible things as a part of their legacy. And Henry Ford was not immune to that, unfortunately. We don't necessarily know when he developed his anti-Semitic views in his life. It could have been from his childhood. It could have been developing through his adulthood as a result of what people were feeling in the West as anti-Semitism was spreading throughout much of Europe and also into the Americas. So it's hard to say when exactly he started to find these particular leanings, but the worst part about it, I think, is that he ended up buying a newspaper called the Dearborn Independent, which he then almost mandatorily sold to his new customers that bought Model T Fords. He made sure that his salesmen would include a subscription of the Dearborn Independent to new buyers of any Model T Ford that they came across. And by 1925, the Dearborn Independent was one of the most popular newspapers in America, second only to the New York Post, who had around 900,000 subscribers, I believe, at the time. So it was incredibly successful. But in that newspaper, he expressed some fairly anti-Semitic leanings, and that also transitioned into his Nazi sympathizing also in his adult life, which wasn't something unique to America either. In the 1930s, there was a Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden that had over 30,000 people show up. So Henry Ford wasn't new to this type of idea. This wasn't a unique thing in America, but it was a stain on his legacy, and it's something that was carried throughout much of his adult life. And I think perhaps the worst part about it, for me as a modern man, is that it wasn't just that he held these views, but it was the fact that he spread these views through the Dearborn Independent, and the fact that he made it kind of mandatory for people to buy the Dearborn Independent with his cars. So as he was able to break down the class structures by introducing a luxury item, the car, to the common man, he was also spreading these fairly, unfortunately, anti-Semitic views to the rest of America as well. And we can only say how impactful that was on the American society at the time. And it's an unfortunate stain for an otherwise great man, but that just seems to be what history is. It is grimy, it is imperfect, as all humans are imperfect.